Hey guys, so today I'm drawing Cyno from Genshin Impact. So actually, funny story is last week was actually his banner going away and being gone. Um Now I have to wait for a rerun. So basically I didn't even get Cyno and I pulled for him a couple times. Honestly, I didn't have enough primo gems and basically I got Diluc and Diluc stole my pity. So I have like C1 of Diluc or C2. I can't remember how many constellations I have for him. But yeah, anyways, he stole my pity, so I don't have any Cyno. um, but I decided to draw him because he is my favorite. Besides Tainari, Cyno is my favorite Sumeru character. I feel like for me personally, I don't really like too many of the characters. Like, don't get me wrong, the aesthetics of the characters are cool, but there's not a lot of characters that I actually like in terms of looks for like my personal likes. So yeah. So it's him and Tainari and that was basically it. I decided to draw him. He is one of the darker skin characters, so I don't know, he's a favorite because I feel like Genshin doesn't do enough like darker skin characters, even though they put Sumeru out on the map and I feel like they could have done way more. It's a bit controversial because of that. So yeah, but Cyno is my favorite. Not just because he's a darker skin character, but also I like his personality too. He's a very like serious character and it doesn't seem like he jokes that much, but to be honest, he is friends with Tainari, which is super cute. So yeah. Um I like how they went for Anubis vibes because he is like this judgmental character who judges you. Um, and he always, I forgot what he works for again. Is it the Matra, I think? Um, I forgot what it's called. But basically, he actually goes around like basically kind of like a police, you would say, and he arrests people. Um, if they're not willing to come with him, though, he does get a bit physical, so his strength level is very powerful, and he's like feared throughout like the Subaru area because of what he can do. Um, which I think is super cool. He's not like the tallest character though, and he's not really. I don't think he's a tall character in the game even. So, to be honest, it's kind of funny because everyone kind of just fears him, but he's not like this large stature of a person. So, yeah. I do like how I don't know. When it comes to characters, I like characters who do more like justice type of work. So yeah, that's why I like Kaya, Diluc, um, Cyno. Tainari is more of someone who decided to stay more in the forest area. He doesn't really like going to the city, but he's also kind of good with politics too. He's very like picky about things because his ears are super sensitive too, so he kind of doesn't even want to go to the city for multiple reasons. So yeah, I wanted to do like a serious expression on Cyno because he's like this very intense character that you're supposed to fear, but at the same time, I think he looks super pretty, so it kind of counters it in a way. I'm hoping he gets a rerun, but that means I'm gonna have to wait a long while because I didn't even get him like for his actual first release. So yeah, it's kind of upsetting. It's like when I wanted a Diluc, I got a Kaya constellation with my pulling because I was pulling to get a Diluc and I just got a Kaya constellation. And when I wanted a Kaya constellation, I actually pulled and I on like the standard banner and I got a Diluc. So yeah, that was my experience with like getting Diluc and then Kaya Constellation as well. And then when I wanted Cyno, Diluc came out of nowhere. So now I have a Constellation instead of a new character. The reason why I said I could wait for like constellations, to be honest, is because a lot of the characters that I play, it's kind of hard to get constellations for anyways. But yeah, like Kaya is super rare to pull. I don't know why. He's a free to play character, but he's super difficult to pull on purpose, and it kind of just bugs me in general because it's like, okay, it's gonna take forever to even get like a C6 of him. So yeah. But even Diluc, sometimes it's a bit difficult to get him, but at the same time he's a 5-star character, so that's kind of different too. Um but the reason why I didn't really care too much about the constellations at this moment was because I was just leveling up every character's talents. And honestly, for the past couple days, I haven't been on like my streak of doing that because I was super like tired and I was working a lot of hours. So by the time I came home, my hand hurt. And then there's a lot of hours that I work that are kind of like I go up to like 3 to 11 shifts, and sometimes it's like 7 to 3, which is super early in the morning. So my mind is kind of just, I need to sleep, and that's basically all I think about. So yeah, I'm kind of late on finishing this Cyno drawing. I actually drew him last weekend, and then I started coloring him like it's a Sunday when I'm filming, but it's not going to be Sunday when this video is up for sure. But just letting you guys know, it's been a week since I drew this drawing, and I was like, haven't even touched it yet until now. So yeah. I really like his design. Um, especially like the Anubis head. I think it's super cute. I know it's supposed to be cool, but it's a puppy, so I find it cute. Yeah. And he has all like these strands coming from it too, like these strands of cloth, and I don't know. I really want a cosplay headpiece for that. But at the same time for his clothing, I feel like if you're a female and you're gonna wear a Cyno cosplay, you would definitely have to wear like more clothing to cover up the chest area just because he doesn't really wear anything to cover that area. Here I am coloring in some of the gold parts. So for this, I did my standard, let's color in the body and the hair first, and then go on to specific colors. So there's a lot of gold, so I went to that first. And then I went to like the random colors first, like the ones where there's like not too much colors of it. So there's this purplish blue for his ears, like his ears on his head, and like some parts of his clothing, some parts of the strap as well was that. So I went to these like random colors that were there, where it's kind of like they're there for the outfit and they look nice, but there's like a small pop of color for each piece. um I'm gonna apologize off bat for the ears. I kept not paying attention to like that the camera was not focused upwards because it wasn't like reaching the top of the paper. So if I'm coloring in the ears or outlining them and you don't see it clearly, like where I'm outlining, I do apologize. That was me. For some reason, when I was coloring, I completely like forgot that that was off camera, a little bit of it, and I just kept on going. So that was me. Yeah. I didn't really have an actual bluish purple. I just put blue on top of this light purple so that way it looks like the color, but it wasn't really well blended, so I have to say I didn't really do a great job at that, but I tried. So that was basically me. I feel like maybe I should have done the blue first and put the purple over it so that way it blends in nicely, because technically speaking those areas are actually darker colors, so it does look a bit more bluish on it. So yeah. So some of the straps on his head piece actually look different when they're like on different sides and angles, so both sides have different color patterns on them. So there was specific sides where I was like, oh, it looks nice. I kind of got confused because there's so many of them, but I decided to try to do my best on certain ones and make it that they were facing a certain way. That piece that I just colored in, I honestly don't know what it is. It looks like this marking that's on his arm, but at the same time, it looks like a strap of fabric. So I don't know, because when I look closer at like today when I look closer at the actual pictures that I had as reference, it kind of looked like some sort of tattoo that he just had on his arm. So I don't know if it's supposed to be that. Um, and yeah, so now I'm just coloring everything that is black color. Basically, there was so many pieces, and I was trying to be super careful because everything was supposed to look square and uniform, because the way like his neck piece and his belt have those like gaps in them with the different fabrics and metals. Also, this part I kind of messed up on too. He has like this black fabric on both of his shoulders. It's kind of like a sleeve thing, but then I didn't draw it properly, so I just went and colored it in as best as I could, because for some reason I wasn't even focused on that. Like I drew the left one, which is, if you guys are watching, it's on the right side, but for the right one that's on the left side, actually when you're viewing this video, literally I didn't draw that detail. Like I only drew like the end part that where it was cut off, but then I didn't draw like the other parts. So yeah, so I ended up coloring it in as best as possible. And then he has these long sleeves. They kind of look like they're kind of gloves. They're gloves. They're like fingerless gloves, and then they're like really long on his forearm. So yeah. So that's basically it. I'm just coloring in that, and then I am coloring in his headpiece. So I decided to go with a lighter gray on his headpiece, so that way I could do some cool shading with the actual like darker gray that I was using. So I wasn't using exactly like a pure black marker because I only have one left and it's running out of ink, so I couldn't really use it, so I ended up using this one. So I ended up using like for his sleeves and his gloves, and his necklace part and his belt, I actually used like this darker gray that I had because I had a newer marker of that. But for others I didn't have, but so because I didn't have the actual black and I wanted to do different shading with it, I decided to do a lighter gray for the headpiece itself. Also, there was so many different details. I wanted to be able to see it, so that's why I ended up going with like a gray, so that way I could see where I'm like need to outline certain things. I keep thinking when I drew his headpiece that for me it looks really small in comparison to how it's supposed to be, but I don't know, the way when I looked at it I was like, it's like the size of his head, so that's basically it. I was actually debating, but then I forgot. I was debating whether or not I should draw him with like when he does his ult, because he gets these giant cloths on his hand that are wrapped around, and it's supposed to look like claws. Basically, it kind of reminds me of Razor when it comes to how, like, when he does his ult, a giant wolf comes, and that's basically what it looks like. So, yeah. But I decided not to do that. I think I was too focused on, oh, what type of pose should I be doing? So, yeah. I went for like a kind of salute pose, or you could say that he's just in the desert, so it's really sunny, and he does that pose. um, but yeah, I didn't really do an action pose this time, just because there was so many things I wanted to focus on the drawing, especially the headpiece itself. I actually really like this one because, for those of you who don't know, because I watch a lot of My Hero Academia, I literally wanted to practice like drawing muscles a lot, because before I would never draw muscles properly, or everyone would be super skinny and I didn't get like the right definition in. So with Cyno, it's the same thing. I get to practice more of that. Just because his chest area and stomach area are showing more, so I thought it was good practice for that. Um, Yeah, anything that can challenge me and allow me to draw muscles, I really like, just because it's more stuff I get to do when it comes to drawing and more details I have to add in. I think I looked at a different reference to look at his actual belt, but I didn't save that one, unfortunately. So then I got confused with like the different colors and stuff, and eventually I got it. That's basically it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check down in the description box below all my social medias there. I'll definitely be posting the process work for this one, like the sketch and everything, so you can check it out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you like this video. Um, I'm just coloring, like like outlining all his stuff now, so that's basically it. His pose kind of was a bit difficult though, I have to admit. Like, especially for like how I put his arm. For some reason I was like, the length looks a bit off, and the headpiece was confusing me with the proportions of the actual body. So I like had to constantly erase stuff and go back and see if the arms and everything was proper, like length. So yeah, that was just me going around and trying to figure that out the whole time when I was sketching him out. I also like how his headpiece has earrings on the ears. That's like a cool touch that I never thought someone would put on like a headpiece. Again, this is another character where I'm like, oh, I like them, and then their clothing or outfit turns out to have so much black and gray in it. And I apologize, like, this happens every single time I draw. Like, I just want to draw a character that has like super bright colors, and turns out I never do that. So maybe in the future I might just focus on doing that on at least one drawing or so. But honestly, it's, again, I just realized he's one of those characters that has that. So yeah, everything is always dark themed for characters that I like, and it's like, I don't know what to say about that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!